Are you wondering if you're in a relationship with someone emotionally unavailable? Your feelings know even before your mind does. Before you consciously register that you're with someone emotionally unavailable, your emotions speak loud and clear. What emotions do I mean? That's what I'm talking about in today's YouTube video. But before I get into it, I want to welcome you if you're new here to my channel. My name is Lindsay and I am the Real Love Alchemist. I help you go from bad relationships to real love with the magic of subconscious work. So if you're interested in checking out what I do and how I can help you, you can click on the link in the description. When I was with my unavailable exes, before I actually realized they were unavailable, I was anxious all the time. I also felt really badly about myself all the time, like I wasn't good enough. So for a while, I was trying to figure out what the problem was. And in the beginning, I thought the problem was that I was anxiously attached. And so I went about trying to heal and fix myself, trying to heal that anxious attachment just so that I could feel okay in this relationship. And after a while of that not really working, I realized that having high levels of anxiety and not feeling good about yourself in a relationship don't always mean that you just have an anxious attachment style. All of those things could be triggered by being with an emotionally unavailable partner. If you feel like something's not right, it's usually true. So let's talk about what it feels like to be with an emotionally unavailable partner so that if you're in this situation, you can know what you're dealing with. The first sign is you have a lot of anxiety because you don't know how they feel about you. This was the case in most of my relationships with unavailable partners. A lot of that anxiety was being fueled by the fact that I really didn't know how they truly felt about me, what their intentions were for the relationship, where they saw it heading. They never told me. And when you don't know, that can fuel anxiety. That's called feeling insecure in a relationship. Not the kind of insecurity where there's something you need to fix about yourself or you don't feel good enough. The kind of insecurity that's the opposite of secure attachment. The next sign is you feel like you don't really know them. Like they feel very mysterious and like you just don't know what they're really about, or it just feels like the more you're in the relationship, the more you really have no idea who they are. That's how I felt in my marriage. I was with this person for many, many years, like over probably about 15 years, and I felt like I still didn't know who he was. And the reason for that was because he didn't share a lot of his thoughts and his feelings. I really didn't know who he was as a person because he wasn't that open. Another way you can tell you're with someone unavailable is you don't feel important to them and you feel like your self-worth is dropping. So there's a feeling you have in a relationship with someone who's unavailable and you really don't feel like a priority to them. You feel like they could just disappear at any moment and you can feel that your self-worth is getting lower. You're not feeling as great about yourself as you did before. You're not feeling enough. You're feeling like this person just isn't really there. And this kind of goes with what we just talked about. You feel like this person could literally abandon you at any time. That's not a normal feeling to feel. If you feel like you could just say one wrong thing or do one thing that would push them away and they'd be gone, that's not a healthy relationship. Another way you can tell you might be with someone unavailable is if you feel like something's missing in the relationship, but you don't know what. Like there's something that you just can't quite put your finger on, but it feels like there's this huge thing that's just somehow not there in the relationship. What's missing is that emotional connection, that emotional depth. But it might not feel like you can pinpoint that and just feel like, something's just missing here. You also will have no idea what they're thinking or feeling about important issues. And I don't just mean like issues and events, current events that are happening. I mean like issues that are coming up in your relationship. You may not know how they feel about the future. You might not even know how they feel about you or what's happening in the relationship or what you're doing. It just kind of feels like you don't know them. Another sign that you might be with someone emotionally unavailable is that you always feel sad because you don't feel appreciated. And when you always feel taken for granted and unappreciated, that leaves you feeling very sad and also lonely. You can also feel jealous of other people in their life or even other things that seem to get more of their attention. Like maybe you're jealous of their work, or maybe you're jealous of their coworkers or their friends that they seem to pay more attention to. For me, I was always jealous of my ex's computer and his video games because he seemed to spend so much time playing video games and playing on the computer and doing work on the computer, and it felt like the computer was an obstacle in our relationship. And when you're feeling that way, it's not the computer, it's not the video games, it's the person you're with. And another sign that you're with someone unavailable based on how you feel is they bring out the worst in you. So if you're in a relationship with someone and you're feeling so insecure and like you're just needing so much from this person and you're so anxious, it's probably not you. It's probably the dynamic that's happening in the relationship and the fact that this person really isn't fully showing up. Like if you're not normally like this, it's probably the relationship dynamic. So even if we're not conscious of it, most of us can tell what it feels like to be with someone who's all in and to be with someone who's not. And typically, the main thing that you feel when someone's not all in, when someone is unavailable, is confusion. The fact that you don't know if they're in for sure means likely that you're with someone unavailable. When someone is all in, you know, you can feel it. There's a very distinct emotional experience that you have when you know that you're safe with someone. So when you're feeling like you don't know what's going on, you're feeling confused, you think you might be with someone emotionally unavailable, then that's the time to leave, because it's not normal to feel that way in a relationship. In a healthy relationship, you know your partner cares about you. You know how they feel about you because they tell you and they show you. You can feel it. And you're worth being all in for. You don't have to settle for a relationship where someone is pulling away or they're distant or they leave you feeling confused and anxious. Don't do it. But here's the thing. If you're with an emotionally unavailable partner, and you have been for a while, it's usually because you have some unavailability of your own. So if you're looking to learn how to be more emotionally available so you can find real love and available partners, then check out this video here. And if you want daily tips and inspiration for healing from bad relationships and finding real healthy love, then follow me at The Real Love Alchemist on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.